is your Irontrader. This is midday trading. So we're going to take a look here at crude oil and natural gas. But first of all, we're going to take a look here at a couple of numbers that came out today. First of all is going to be Best Buy, and then we're going to look at Dick's Sporting Goods. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy, sell any stock, commodity, ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Okay, here we have Best Buy. Now, this is a really nice place to shop. They have a good online. I've never had any issues with them. But again, looks like the economy is kind of slowing down here for them. Just the opposite of Dick's, which we're going to show you here in a little bit. Now, yesterday, you can see here we had old Sticky here. Topping tail candle. Couldn't get above that 50-day and hold it. That's the key, is holding it and closing above it. Then she came right on down. Now, today, you can see where she just gapped right on down here. But again, it gapped down, but we're holding so far this key 200-day. That's going to be very key. So on the downside, this is what you want to watch, is you want to watch that 200-day, that 85.38. And obviously, we want to watch today's low at 83.81. Now, when we look on a weekly chart here, okay, see how nice this 50-day is holding here? That's at 84.04, okay? So that's going to be very, very key, a level here, and then we can come down here to your 80.12 level, then you have a retest down there at 78.55. But if you look at this weekly chart, here we have a low, a higher low, a higher low, and now we still even have a higher low even after that earnings situation here. So this is the key levels that you want to watch, is that 85.38. That's going to be very, very critical, okay, on a closing basis. And then right here, this is at 84.04 on a closing basis. And then we can look at today's low situation. They're at 83.81 here, okay? Now, on the upside, well, we want to look at today's high, okay? So that's at 87.37. Now you can see the big gap here, okay? So let's just take a look at the gap here first. So that's 87.37. There's your gap. And then we look to the bottom of yesterday's candle, 91.97. Okay, so that's what we have here, 87.37, and then we have 91.97, your gap, and then your fill. But we also have a lot of resistance in the middle. You have this 88.88, your 8-day. We have that 21-day sitting right there at 89.95, and we also even have that 100-day sitting there at 91.73 level. So gap and fill. But now again, we got to see, as long as it can hold this key 200-day and this 50-day here, this might be a buying opportunity like we had with the old Target store. You know what I'm saying? Where Kiss got hammered, but then we had a nice good 10-point jump on that bad boy. Now, you can see here at the MACD, we're holding right on the bottom here, really not saying anything. You got a really, you got a 40 here. You can see where it's rolling down. You can come back and retest all this here. But realistically here, this here isn't looking very too good. We have a downtrend situation. We had a double top right there, okay? Then we have a downtrending market just like we had here. But when you look at the weekly on an overall, it's not looking really that bad here because we have that low, that higher low, and higher low, and higher low. The key is going to be that 50-day and that 200 SMA. So if you're trading this here on the upside, just watch that gap, watch that 21-day, and then that fill. Okay, on the downside, just watch that 200-day and that 50 SMA. Okay, let's take a look here now at Dick's. Okay, now here we have Dick's. Now they came out today and they had good numbers and they also raised. But look at here, okay? So what do we have? We popped right on up here all the way to a high of 229.40, and now we're right back down here to this 215.06. So a lot of times you got to be very, very careful of this, okay? So that the high today was 229.40, okay, just like we have here. But then you also have to look to the bottom of that chart there, okay? So you have 230.29. So it went up towards this gap. See, this is why I always point out these gaps. See when it went all the way up here. Now, it didn't quite fill that gap. But again, what we always look for here and the trading is level to level. So once we broke out of this level here, then we're looking for the top of there at that 227.05. You can see where it went up. Then we're always looking for that gap before you hit the breakout, okay? So always watch these gaps in your fill because those are really like target zones, whether you're going upside or down, okay? So let's just look here now at the downside here first, okay? So realistically, you're sitting now at 214.77. So really what you want to do is you want to watch the top of this candle here. That's 211.12, and we want to watch that 100-day sitting right there. Oh, let me see if I can get it up there. 210.42. Okay, now there's another gap right down here. So we look at the bottom of that candle, 204.99, and then we look at the top at 202.51. Gap and a fill kind of a situation. But you got a lot of support here. We got this 50 SMA here. We got this 200 SMA here, the 8 to 21. Everything is looking here very, very good. But this was also in the downtrend, but now you can see where it kind of broke that downtrend area and we can take it right back up here. But again, what I really want to point out about this stock is here, when you randomly roll it up to this 229.40, always look to the left of the chart, because that's going to be your target zone here, especially when you have these gaps in your fill where it just about came close, just didn't quite make that 230.23 level here, okay? So if you're trading this here, I'd wait for this a little bit of shakeout. We have a big red candle. We have to see what exactly is going to happen with this, because I don't like these pop and drops. That's not for me. Okay, Dix right here. See, look at it. See, sticky. Look at all that. Old topping tail came right on down here. Now, you're really here on a closing baseline on the weekly. You really need to have to hold that 212.38. That's going to be very critical. And this right here is this 8-day at 206.08. Now, the 50-day is working out very nice, even though it came down. Okay, you can see where it's been closing above for the week, and that's always very, very positive, that 198.30. Then we have, if you lose that, you have that 186.55 here level. But right now, you can see here, you got a sideways action. We had a downtrending situation, you can see clearly on the weekly, and then we broke above it here. Now, the earnings were good, so we got to see how this is all going to shake out there for the Christmas season. Now, when we have this big pop and drop here, usually, okay, RSI, this isn't really a true kind of a look here, because it just pops right on up here. But the green is looking very good. You're above the of the red here. I'm just not a fan of when we have this big pop and drops here. But if you are into these, into Dix here, just give it a day or two here. Just let it shake out here, and just watch all these key levels here, that 100-day, that 50-day, that 8-day, and that 21-day, and that 200-day. When you watch, it's above, the price is above all those key levels, so that's always a good thing. They have to hold here within the next couple, 3 days here. That way we can know here by next week if this is going to go higher and retest this 239 here, or she's just going to go be a sideways action. But now when you look at that downtrend, you broke that downtrend, and we are up on a positive note here. So let's see if we can hold it. Okay, let's take a look here now at crude oil. Okay, here we have the old crude oil. Now, there's a lot of big noise coming out here that there might be a peace agreement going on there in the Middle East. You know, even if they sign one, I mean, you have to always look at, is it going to last? You know what I'm saying? That's the key. Is it going to last? So we got to see how that all shakes out. Now, you can see here we have like an indecision candle going today. Now, yesterday we had this big red candle, and you kind of wiped out a couple of these support levels here. But right now we're holding this key level right here, and this is really what you want to hold, okay? We're looking at that low of that 68.48. Today we had a low here so far of 68.57. So just look to the left of the chart here. Long as we're holding that level, we can go sideways to up, kind of a situation, okay? Now we start losing that 68.48. Well, then we're going to start coming right to the bottom there, okay? You're looking at 67.92. We're going to come right here, 67.75. We have another target over here at 67.28. Then you have your big retest there at 66.53 level. But right now we don't worry about that. We just worry about, as long as it can hold that 68.48 level, that can go like a sideways action. Now, what we have here that we have to always watch is this 8-day. This is very, very critical. You need to close above this 69.26. Right now you're 69.37 real time, so you're just a scotch above it. And then what we're looking for next is going to be right there. It's going to be that 21-day at 69.59. And then we can look at today's high, okay? So we had a high there of 70.30. You didn't quite make it there to that 50-day of 70.61. If you can, and then we'll look to top of this candle, 71.51, and then we have 72.88. However, lot of resistance, okay? So realistically, watch that 8-day. That's going to be very critical. That 21-day, if you can get above that, then we're going to look at 50-day, that 70.61, very, very tough, strong resistance, okay? So always remember that. Downside, just watch the bottom of this candle here, 68.48. That's all you got to need to know here. And we lose that, well, then we have big targets down there, okay? Very, very simple. Now, I am basically just scalping it back and forth here on the UCO, which actually was a pretty good trade today. You got as low as 25.87 and as high as 26.63. So I'm just scalping. I already got 2 scalps going in that there. So we got to see how this is all going to shake out, but just be a little bit patient here, especially during the holiday week. All right, let's take a look here now at natural gas. Okay, here we have old natty gas. Now you can see here how this is actually holding this key 8 SMA, and that's always very, very bullish, okay? When the price gets below it, that's always very, very bearish. Above it, very, very bullish, okay? So I told you that probably, I don't know, 3 million times already, and I'm starting to bore myself with it already. But again, it still works. Okay, so today we had this nice higher high. Okay, so we put in a 3.52. The area we're looking for is at 3.56. Now you can see where the price is sitting at 340. So what we're looking at here is we're going to be looking at the top of this candle first, 345. We look to yesterday's high, 346, and then we look to today's high, 352, and then there's your big retest there at that 356. If we get above that, then we can obviously go much higher. Let me see if I can get it up on here. Yeah. See, right. Okay. So then we can just start heading for these areas, all these targets right here. Okay. So right there is 364. That's going to be your next target, but you have to clear that first. Okay. That's the key. But we don't worry about that right now. The only thing we're worried about here today is that 356. A close above, she goes higher. If it doesn't, she's going to go sideways to down. It's just that simple. Now, on the downside, obviously you want to watch today's low. Okay. So you're looking at 3.39 level. Okay, that's going to be very key. Then we always look at yesterday's low, that 3.26. Over here, top of this candle is 3.23. That's very, very holding very, very nicely, I should say. And then look at this 8-day, very, very good at 3.15. So as long as that price is above it, this is very, very, still very, very bullish. Now, even if this price comes all the way down, that could be a good buying opportunity to take a scalp ski and go right back up here again, okay? Now, if you break out of that 3.56, well, then you're going to go 3.64, and then you're going to go to that 3.85, that 200-day on the weekly. Very, very simple like that, okay? So that's what you got to look at. But again, you have to close above that 3.56. Otherwise, you got sticky here, and she comes down, not good, okay? So this is what we got here. Not really telling you a whole much. It's just telling you got a lot of strength here in this commodity, okay? Your green over your red, got very good strength. Momentum's there to the upside, which obviously it is because this 8-day is above all the simple moving average. Now, when your price is above all of these simple moving average, that's always very, very bullish, but we got to see how this is all going to shake out. Now, I think next year is going to be very, very good for natural gas. I think what they're looking at now is pumping, actually, we're doing like 13.5 million barrels. They're looking to do like an extra 2 to 3 million barrels a day on this here. So you're looking at getting that to maybe say 15, 16 million barrels a day, which would take the price down. Now, again, always remember oil. When you're looking at oil, then we'll talk about natural gas. Oil is not oil, okay? The United States right now produces light sweet crude, which is very good for gasoline, products, plastics, everything from pantyhose to, any kind of a plastics, rubber, anything like that. That's what light sweet does. You have to have the heavy crude oil, which is a lot of sulfur, which basically is for your diesel fuel, for your jet fuel, and, so on. Okay. Now that's really good. And for heating oil. But that's really good there. But we do have a lot in the Gulf, but they stopped the Gulf. But I think next year you're going to start, drill, baby, drill. And I think you're going to do it in the Gulf. You're going to open up these pipelines. And I think you're going to be the energy captain of the world here, the way they want to talk. Okay, so let's just see how that all shakes out here. So I think natural gas, they'll be pumping this here. Now what they do is they just have to get on natural gas is a more of an easier distribution from the site, to the delivery. That's going to be the key, and that's going to be with pipelines. Now we're talking about maybe opening up that Keystone pipeline and starting all that up again here. So we got to be very, very cautious. But again, right now, natural gas is a trade. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be trading it. Okay, that's what I got for you back here after the pit close. We'll take a look at crude, natural gas, and then we'll take a look here at something else. Everything is moving here pretty nicely. Tesla's on a good move. Netflix is on a good move. Apple is moving. Microsoft is moving. Meta is moving. Even Nvidia's up there a buck. You know what I'm saying? So we got to see how this is all going to shake out today. But remember, don't get in too deep here because this is the holiday weekend and you want to go in there fresh next week. This is going to be low volume. You know what I'm saying? And what you don't want to do is lose money. Believe me, it's not a good look for you. Okay, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.